what to do after retirement to make money. Today you're going to learn what you can do after retirement to make money so that you can have an amazing retirement, enjoying all the best that life has to offer without worrying about money. Did you know that many retired folks are finding success in a business called Overages? In today's video, you're going to discover how they're making great money helping people right from their own homes. And retired folks often have exactly the right skill set to succeed in this business. And this niche business does not require physical effort. It just involves some simple internet research and then getting on the phone and connecting with people. A lot of retired folks are finding the perfect business for them is the overages business. Now, what's the overages business? That's a business that involves helping people who've lost their home to foreclosure get back a big refund to help them get restarted in life. And you might wonder, well, how would someone who got foreclosed get a big refund? Here's the way that it works. When their property is foreclosed, which is going to happen either because they didn't pay their mortgage or because they didn't pay the real estate taxes on their house will be foreclosed, and then the creditor is entitled to take the amount that they're owed. So let's say, for example, in the case of a tax foreclosure, if you fall 3 to 4 years behind in your real estate taxes, they will sell your house to get that tax money. But 3 or 4 years worth of taxes is not nearly the whole value of the house. Matter of fact, it'd be a small percentage of the value, probably around 15% of the home value, even taking into consideration late fees and penalties and all that, which are high with taxes, but still you're talking about 15% of the home value. So average house in America today is worth about $400,000. So if we owed 4 years worth of real estate taxes, that's probably around $60,000 to $70,000 worth of taxes. And they will sell the house and they'll take the first $60,000 to $70,000 and pay the tax bill. But then whatever is left over, that is the money that the former owner is able to claim. But in order to claim it, they have to turn in an application. And the only way they're going to turn in an application is if they know they're owed the money. Otherwise, they're not going to turn an application for something they don't even know exists. And of course, the government isn't very helpful with this, because if the people don't claim the money, then the government just gets to keep it. So most of the money is never claimed. Matter of fact, the state of Maryland does studies every year of this. I looked at the past 3-year studies. Every year, less than 72% of the money is claimed. So just for round figures, like 70% not claimed, 30% claimed. So the government's making huge windfalls of money, just millions of dollars coming to them, and millions of dollars that should be going to people who are just down on their luck. They lost their house and they really need that money. Now, the government isn't difficult about giving the money once it's applied for. It's like any government agency. If you fill in their forms, cross the T's, dot the I's, they'll give you a check. It's fine that way. But the problem is people just don't apply for the money, and the government's not going to come out and find them, hand them a form or anything else. Government sits there passively. So we circumvent or we interrupt that system and that loss that's about to take place. What we do is we get the lists of people owed the money. We contact the people, let them know that there's some money that they could claim, and ask if they'd like us to help them for a percentage. Really very straightforward business. Remember when I said that retired people often have the exact skill that's needed? The skill that you need in this business is that connecting with the person. Because you're calling someone up who's really down on their luck. They've lost their house. They're having a tough time. You're calling them with this amazing news that there's this windfall they could get. But of course they're going to be skeptical. So you need to use your skills that you've developed over your lifetime to connect with people. And for a lot of retired folks, and have been around the earth for a long time, you know how to connect with people. You may have been through hard times yourself at some point. Most people do. It could be in health, it could be in money, it could be in relationships, so you can relate to that. And that empathy and that relatability is really what can help you connect with people, because the key to the business is that connection. It's getting to someone say, yes, let's give this a try. And why would they say that? Because it's risk-free to them. Because what you're going to do is you're going to get in contact with them. At some point, you're going to be on the phone with them. You might have done your initial contact by letter or by sending them a message on Facebook, or you may have just picked up the phone, but eventually you are going to be on the phone with them. And you're going to say, look, we've located this money with your name on it. We believe we can be successful in getting the money. And what we do is you give us permission to go pursue this. We'll go and get the money. When we get the money, we take a percentage as a success fee, and then the vast majority of it, the lion's share, goes to you because it's your money. but there's no risk to you. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't cost you a penny. So why not try it? Because you can only win. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't cost you anything. If it works out, you get a big windfall. How about it? So that's the skill that you need, is that relating to people skill. The other parts, the research to get the lists, not terribly difficult. I can teach you how to do that. Getting the contact information for the people, again, not very hard. Takes some training. Usually when I show someone to do that, it takes an hour or two for me to show them how to do it. But again, not terribly hard. All things that are manageable for regular people. Where you're gonna use your skills is your life skills and connecting with people. That really is the key to this whole business. And also, a lot of the people are older. Most of our clients are somewhere between minimum of 50 years old and generally into their 80s and 90s. That's what we're talking. So a lot of times, if you're at retirement age, that fits right in with you. These are people that you can relate to. They don't want to have a whole conversation by text. They'd rather talk to you on the phone to get the bottom of it. So it's very good that way. The other thing is, you're not going to be leaving your house to do this. The research to get the lists, for example, is done online. That's just, the lists are free. I just show you the right searches, you'll get the list. The researching to get the contact information, again, online. Go to some specialized websites, I'll show you how to do that, you'll get that information. And then you're picking up the phone and calling. And when they say yes, I show you how to get them signed up. You can do it two ways. Generally, we just send someone out to go with the papers, have them sign, the papers get returned to you. That's generally the easiest thing to do. The other thing, we show you how to do virtual signups, so you can just do everything online. That's fine too. Both of them work. You do it whichever way you find most suitable. I'll train you to do both. You're gonna get those papers back, generally by UPS or FedEx or mail. Papers come back, you check them over, and then you submit them to the government agency, and a couple months later, they'll cut you a check and send it to you. You deposit that check in your business account, send them their portion, case closed, you made your money, they did well. As far as compensation, it's a great business. We charge 30 to 40% of the monies that we claim. And let me show you a list, because you're probably curious about that. This list that you're seeing is an actual list of government-held funds. So you can see these things range from tens of thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they're houses that were sold, so it's lots of money sitting there. You pick the ones you want to work on, follow my system to get the contact information, pick up the phone and call them. These lists, this is a list from one county. There are 3,000 counties in the United States. There's tons of these lists out there. Matter of fact, in our internal database, we have over $350 million worth of money sitting there, and we're only covering 15 states. We're not even covering all of them, because you get to a point where there's no point in getting extra leads, because we can't even get to all the ones that we have. So this is a business where people are really needed, because there's a lot of money sitting there. We have over 14,000 claims just in our small database of 15 states. So there's plenty of room for you. And most importantly, you can really help people. So if you have a desire to help people, this is a great business for you, because you're helping people who've lost so much. They've lost their home. It's super traumatic for them. And you're going to help get them back on their feet. And between you and me, also, you're going to stop the government from taking money they shouldn't be taking. Matter of fact, the Supreme Court had a case on this called Tyler versus Hennepin County that was decided last year, where they said when you sell a house at tax sale and there's money left over, the extra money has to be available for the former homeowner to claim. So they make it available, but they certainly aren't going to come knock on your door bringing a check and saying, here's your money. Instead, they don't say anything, and if someone applies, they get the money. If they don't, they don't. I'll show you how to do the application process. Again, that's not terribly difficult either. I can show you everything from A to Z in this business, but the question for you right now is, does this sound interesting? And if you're still here for this long, it does sound interesting. I'm sure of that, because otherwise you wouldn't still be watching this video. So the next step is to learn more about this and start to assess if it's really the right business for you. I will tell you, it's low cost to start. You can do it as a side business. Meaning you could be enjoying your retirement, enjoying playing some pickleball or some golf or knitting or reading, enjoying those things, but doing some business to make you have a robust and healthy financial retirement as well. It doesn't involve a lot of physical effort. Really, anybody could do this. You can do it from home, and really enjoyable and meaningful work. So if that sounds appealing to you, then let's get you started. So your next step would be click on the link that you see on your screen if you see one. If you don't see the link, just go down below this video and there's a link to the next video. The next video I want you to watch is Intro to the Overages Business. There I'm going to dive a little deeper, explain a little more detail, and get you access to more resources so you can hopefully get started in this business and have an amazing side business that you can do in retirement where you're helping people, you're staying participating in life, and you can have a robust financial retirement as well as a rewarding and meaningful work to do. It's a really great business. And like I said, as a retired person, you probably have just the skill set you need, which is connecting with people. And they're going to be your contemporaries. Just connect them. You can make great money and be doing great work. So next step, go click on that link either up above, which will be there, or down below, and go to my Intro to Overages Business video, and I'll see you over there.